You know what, white people, you've had your voice here for 524 years. 524 years you've been visible, white lady. You've been visible for 524 years. Look how fast your white man comes and steps up for you. Where is everybody else to come and step up for us?
They started the destruction of the Black Lives Matter mural on Black Lives Matter Plaza in DC today. And I say destruction instead of reconstruction because they are actually literally destroying the street in order to just repave it. Now, it took millions of dollars to actually design this mural, and they are saying that it's going to take hundreds and thousands of dollars to actually reconstruct it. But I just want to stress again that they are actually using our tax dollars to destroy this street just to reconstruct it and redesign it, when we are literally getting ready to go into a recession. I also hear that they are going to rename the plaza as well, and as of today they have not actually confirmed that yet and confirmed the actual new name. Now, this mural is actually north of the White House, so I believe this is something that number 47 has to see every time that he flies into the White House. So of course he wants it gone. Is this helping our economy? Is this actually helping anyone save money? Do you know anyone that this is actually going to help? Let me know.
Why I stopped being a racist, part 1. I've been asked probably well over 1,000 times in the comments and messages why I chose to confront my own racism and my prejudice ideology. So I thought I'd just have an honest conversation with you and break it down over a few parts and let you see into the mind of someone like me, the way I grew up, and the man I'm becoming. Now, here's the crazy thing. I've only ever known one racist in my life for sure, and that's me, because I can't speak into the hearts and minds of another human being and what they think and feel. That's not fair, and that's prejudicial of me. So I'm the only one I've ever known, so I feel I can speak with authority about this. I'm not calling out other people who are. This is simply about my evolution and the things I confronted and some of the difficulties and some of the beautiful parts of this. This is not an easy thing for me to do. This is kind of laying my soul bare. So if you would, let me know if this is something you want me to continue in the comments, please, because it's going to take a lot for me to invest emotionally to be open about this. Now, why is it I grew up with so much prejudice and bias and discrimination in my life? Well, I grew up in a small town in Arkansas, and I am Arkansas proud. Let me just say that right off the top. But I grew up with people who taught me these things, and it was instilled in me. I mean, it was just reinforced over and over. And then for the most part, I lived in an echo chamber of other people who thought the same thing. So I didn't know it was possible to think any other way. I was raised Christian. I cannot explain to you why my faith in God, my morality, and my racism took so long to cross paths. I can't explain it, but it probably took about 40 years to figure that out. There's a whole series of events in my life, I guess, ultimately that led up to this. And prison was probably one of the biggest catalysts, because when you're on 23-1 lockdown with someone of a different color from you in the same cell, you shut your mouth and you listen. You ask questions. And I had so many different cellmates from different countries, from different races and heritages. And it just really opened my mind. And sitting in prison, I had a lot of time to think. And I had some old timers tell me I need to do my time. Don't let my time do me. And those are good words of advice. But I started digging deep into myself and my flaws, and because I was probably the biggest asshole I knew at that time, and I wasn't proud of that at all. And I knew I needed to change if I wanted to live a productive and healthy life and just be somebody likable. I just couldn't see the world for the way it really was. And that breaks my heart that it took me so long to see it. But the beauty that is born from this change in me, or this growth, is just crazy. God is amazing. So if you want me to continue this, let me know and I'll do a part 2.
To all y'all black people talking about y'all gonna move on over there to Africa. I used to be over there. I used to do missionary work over there. Go on and move over there. There was a woman going viral who went over to Africa, and she's trying to get back to America, having a hard time, saying how horrible it is. It's 10 times worse over there. I'm telling y'all, I've been over there. Unless you're a rich celebrity and you got money to buy land far off and buy your own island over there. But other than that, if you're a regular average person, you're going to suffer. There's no jobs over there. The jobs don't pay what they pay here. Everybody over there is poor. You got to understand, in these type of countries, and 90% of the people are poor. The wealth is you talking about oligarchy over here. No, it's an oligarchy over there. There's only a small percentage of people that are rich, and they all black, right? Most of them. So go on and move over there if you want to and barely be able to eat food, get scammed, and just, unless you're going over there for Jesus, don't go over there.
You really think they woke up and said, wow, black people are human after all. Let's be nice. They didn't desegregate because they loved us. They desegregated because they couldn't afford to look stupid on the world stage. And they couldn't afford to let us get too powerful without them. After World War II, America was busy trying to sell itself as the leader of the free world. You know, democracy, liberty, justice for all. All the same stuff they were never giving to black people at home. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union was pointing and laughing. Freedom? Y'all can't even let black kids drink from the same water fountain. And America? They couldn't bomb their way out of that bad press. So the same people who spent decades lynching us, burning us out of towns, and pretending we didn't exist decided it was time to clean up their image. Desegregation was never about morality. It was always about marketing. One thing they never tell you about desegregation, we weren't begging to sit next to them. We were thriving without them. Black businesses were booming. Black schools were educating future doctors, lawyers, and scientists. Black neighborhoods were self-sufficient. And they couldn't have that. Because if we didn't need them, they couldn't control us. Simple math. But instead of congratulating us, they used desegregation as a way to bulldoze everything we built. Black schools shut down. Black teachers fired by the thousands. Black businesses starved out once the black dollar started flowing into white businesses. Yeah, they didn't integrate with us. They absorbed what we built and threw the rest away like leftovers. And today they have the nerve to ask why black communities are still rebuilding. Because y'all didn't just move the goalpost. Y'all burnt the whole field. Desegregation wasn't a handshake. It was a hostile takeover. They didn't open the doors because they respected us. They opened the doors just wide enough to flood everything that we built and call it progress. So the next time somebody tells you to be grateful for desegregation, remind them that we didn't get rights because they loved us. We got them because we fought like hell while they smiled for the cameras. They didn't integrate us. They invaded us. And we're still rebuilding what they couldn't steal.
A black man from Mississippi was found dead after calling his mother and telling him that he was being chased by white men in trucks who were hurling racial slurs at him. The police said that there's no reason to suspect foul play. If you want an example of what systemic racism is, because not only were these white men in trucks feeling emboldened enough to chase him and brutalize and murder him, but the police felt as though there was no reason to investigate this because they thought nobody would care about him. He was 25 years old and went missing on October 2nd. The police didn't even bother looking for his body. I don't even feel comfortable going into the details of how badly he was brutalized, but you should know that his body was not found in one piece. He was a welder from Fayette, Mississippi who was working about 100 miles away working a short-term contracting gig. And he was trying to save up money to reopen his seafood restaurant, which closed during the pandemic, which he had named after his 7-year-old daughter. America is broken. Policing in America is broken.
I don't know about you, but I get tired of trying to reason with a morally dead group of people. But allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Uncle Tom, aka Sambo, aka House Ninja. And I was given these very cool and intelligent names by a group of racists, but not white racists. Oh no. But I actually received these names from a segment of the ever so tolerant, ever so victimized black community. Why, you ask? Oh, just for my beliefs of holding this toxic culture accountable for their actions, like in the regards of the Rodney Hinton Jr. situation, or the Carmelo Anthony situation, or even for them having a criminalistic, destructive cultural mindset. See, that segment of Black America, they're very sensitive, you see. They can participate in certain behaviors and acts of tribalism, but nobody else can. However, I will say it's a small segment. I'm not talking about the average, normal, hardworking Black American who stays away from and reject this stereotypical destructive behavior. No, I'm talking about that small majority of black folk who also commits a majority of crimes. They're the ones who actually corrupted actual black culture and turned it into the worship of criminality and bad behavior. You see, it's very hard for me to be upset at the way that our white brothers and sisters are feeling in this country today. Being that for decades, black people were able to spew openly bigotry and their disdain for this country. The country that carried them along, might I add. So to that segment of the community, white people are just now starting to tell you how they feel because they are tired of the unchecked bigotry against them. And as far as I'm concerned, it's just the chickens coming home to roost.
Black person, a Black American, African American person who is very, very, very successful and wealthy, they've had to do something to undermine other black people, and they've had to do bad things. I mean, having extreme wealth and having a lot of money, you have to be cutthroat. You have to be willing to do anything, and I'm not willing to do anything.
I take my child to the playground, and every single other child at the playground is speaking a foreign language to their parent. My child is the only child at the playground that's speaking English. And I'm surrounded by people that are being told, oh, this is a great multicultural diversity. And it just means less white people, less white culture. And ultimately, we're going to turn into global South Africa. And I will fight to stop that from happening. I had family in South Africa. I'm not letting it happen here. And so I'm trying with all my might to be peaceful and reasonable and political. But we have to protect white Australia. We have to.
Literally don't know where to start. There's so many things to destroy in this argument. Oh my gosh, boo-hoo. Oh, your child's the only person who speaks a different language from all the other people around them. Sounds insensitive to say it like that, right? You can't be like, oh, Australia has to be literally just all white, and I don't like it that my child goes to the playground and no one speaks the same language. No, you know what? Instead of upgrading and being more inclusive and understanding, hey, this is my culture, this is your culture, let's come together. No. How about your culture just leaves, okay? So everyone looks and sounds like me. Because I don't want it to look like South Africa. That's what he said. Keep in mind the apartheid and all that other stuff that happened. It's almost like it was the black people's land, and then the white dudes went over there and did their thing and took it over. Nelson Mandela and all that stuff happened. And then he's saying, I don't want it to be like that. He's basically inferring that the South Africans had land, they had power, and then they lost it to the blacks, even though it was their land to begin with. Ironic that it's sort of like the same mindset that he has with Australia. It was indigenous peoples, and then the white people got it, occupied it, and now he's angry that it's becoming diverse and multicultural, which is not even to the degree he's saying. Look, everyone should live in harmony. Some places have more white people, some places have more black people, okay? It's okay to have different cultures. We're not trying to take it from you. And if we were, rightfully so, you couldn't even be mad because you took it from someone else. Or goes around, comes back around, or karma. Even not that I believe in karma, but you get what I'm saying. Imagine saying that. Oh, I'm gonna walk little Timmy. Oh my gosh, no one's black around here. Oh, it's the government's fault. And you know what? Even though it's the government's fault, I actually hate it that everyone's speaking a different language than this language, okay? Our language is the best language. It's the superior one. And I don't like it that we don't have our own place. So all you other families who have come from hardship, yeah, all the other families come from hardship and have had a tough time migrating and assimilating, guess what? I actually don't think you belong here, even though this is pretty much stolen land. And you know what? I feel unfairly done. Yes, it was taken from you, but I want my people to have it. Talk about the irrational mindset.
I feel fucking sick when I see you black people getting arrested for things you didn't do, getting stop and searched by the police. They harass you each and every day. It's time the police stop being racist. I'm sick of seeing innocent black people being tormented by the police.